I think the important thing to bear in mind with batteries is there really is no material shortage. The Earth's crust has essentially an infinite amount of metal as far as humanity is concerned. We have barely scratched the surface of the metal resource availability of the Earth's crust. And this is a very fundamentally different thing from mining coal or oil, because metal is recycled. So once you have enough metal to support a given size of industry, then it just keeps going in a recycling process.
Kevin in Colorado, aka your Tesla pilot, and we are talking about
Tesla!
That's right. Hey, just a simple what do we got today? Thursday, September 17th. We're whopping 4 days and 5 hours until actual battery day. So excited, so glad I'm gonna go. But are we missing the bigger picture when battery day? When we talk about Project Roadrunner and all the wonderful new cells that we're talking about seeing from that, and the battery packs and modular packs and this cell and that cell and the heat transfer and everything else. But I still think we might be missing some simple science from Elon. What do we continue to throw in the trash after we use it all the time? In our headsets, in our daily work, and different things, we're still using Duracell and the Energizer bunny. Why? All we do is we throw these things in the landfill when we're done. This is not a rechargeable battery. This is not sustainable energy. What if Tesla has actually come up with a cell to have sustainable energy to replace Duracell and Energizer batteries? Billion-dollar industry, bam. Do you care about sustainable energy? I want to hear it all down below.
We must move to renewable energy. I think people sometimes, how can one argue against that? Because to argue for it is to say that we will eventually run out of energy and die. Or civilization will collapse. So obviously we must find ways to produce energy in a renewable manner. The question is just how hard we should try, what pace we should go at it. And I think logically we should go as fast as we can, because since we know we have to get there eventually, it's better to get to a renewable future, a sustainable future sooner rather than later. Get there before we do the environmental damage, not after. And even if one could say that well, maybe there isn't that much environmental damage, to play the devil's advocate, maybe the environmental damage, maybe it won't be that bad. Why take the chance? Now, a lot of people would say, well, solar, can that really provide the energy that we need? A lot of people don't perhaps appreciate that solar energy is already the source of the vast majority of Earth's energy. Without solar power, we would be a frozen ice ball at about 3 or 4 degrees above absolute zero. So really all we're talking about for solar electricity is taking the tiny bit of energy that humanity needs for electricity, which is, I emphasize, is super tiny compared to the amount of solar energy that hits the Earth. You could generate all the electricity that the United States needs with about a 100-mile by 100-mile grid of solar power. So you could just take like a corner of Arizona, and that would be all the energy that the United States needs. I think the important thing to bear in mind with batteries is there really is no material shortage. The Earth's crust has essentially an infinite amount of metal as far as humanity is concerned. We have barely scratched the surface of the metal resource availability of the Earth's crust. And this is a very fundamentally different thing from mining coal or oil, because metal is recycled. So once you have enough metal to support a given size of industry, then it just keeps going in a recycling process. There may be a small amount that exits the recycling process, but it's quite a small amount. So for lithium-ion battery packs, in the case of Tesla, the cathode, which is made of nickel, cobalt, and aluminum, is the most expensive part of the cell. The anode is made of carbon, and then there's a thin steel shell around the cell. So really the only part of that is remotely scarce, and only slightly so, is cobalt. And that's why we moved from a pure cobalt cathode to nickel cobalt aluminum cathode, which uses only about a quarter as much cobalt. But there's as much nickel as you could possibly want, certainly as much as aluminum as you'd need, no shortage of steel, and the cobalt it's expensive, but there's certainly plenty available to support all the world's needs. So there really is not some fundamental metals shortage with respect to battery packs. Then, and as I mentioned, at the end of life, you recycle them. And you can think of a battery pack as basically really high-grade ore. It's much more efficient to recycle a battery pack, which has essentially very high concentrations of nickel, cobalt, aluminum, than it is to mine rock, which has a very low concentration. So it's at end of life, a lithium-ion battery pack has still about 10 to 20% of its value as a recycling item. So you definitely it pays to recycle.
So my prediction for the $550 stock price by this Friday, between $500 and $550, is not looking good. We're down back to about 422 this morning, a little bit more of a tech sell-off. But the good news is two analysts have actually raised their price target on Tesla up to $400 a share. So less room to fall or parachute down to that level, less risk on the downside, more possibility for the upside with battery days. So a little bit more protection there. So rethinking that, if we stay down to this lower levels, under $500 a share into battery day, I will not sell a single share of Tesla. I will be at the event. I'll be able to interpret it in person, and I will let you know that night when I make a video of exactly what I thought about battery day, about seeing Elon Musk in person, about his compelling story of why this is important. Now, what would be mind-blowing to me is if he actually got the cells light enough to start Tesla Air. If we're affecting aviation with clean energy, with what's flying through the air, we're able to do that same thing with boats. We have the Tesla Semi, we have the Tesla Cybertruck, we have all those Tesla motors. If we're able to do that and really make that energy density, power, the heat dissipation, all those trifecta like the video we talked about yesterday, all those things have been solved, it'd be just like what Elon Musk is saying about full self-driving. There are simply no more fundamental challenges. This would be game-changing, not only for the United States, but for the entire world.
No, we're not fucked. Vast transportation system. Like there's 2.5 billion cars and trucks in the world. So, and the new car and truck production, if it was 100% electric, that's only about 100 million per year. So it would take, if you could snap your fingers and instantly turn all cars and trucks electric, it would still take 25 years to change the transport base to electric. Makes sense, because how long does a car truck last before it goes into the junkyard and gets crushed? About 20 to 25 years. Thermonuclear reactor in the sky called the sun. It's great. It sort of shows up every day. Very reliable. So if you can generate energy from solar panels, store it with batteries, you can have energy 24 hours a day.
Now, what is the bottleneck in regards to electric cars and trucks and things like that? Is it battery capacity?
Yeah, I've got to scale up production. Got to make the car compelling. Make it better than gasoline or diesel cars.
Make it more efficient in terms of like the distance it can travel.
Yeah, you got to be able to go far enough, recharge fast.
And your Roadster, you're anticipating 600 miles. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What is that?
600 mile range.
Is that right now? Like, have you driven one 600 miles now?
No, we could totally make one right now that would do 600 miles. But the thing is, it's too expensive. So, like the car's got to...
How much more so?
Well, just have a 200 kilowatt hour battery pack, and you can go 600 miles.
Right, versus what do you have now?
330 mile range. So that's plenty for most
mile
people.
Range, and what is that in terms of kilowatts?
Well, that would be for Model S 100 kilowatt hour pack. Will do about 330 miles, maybe 335. But some people have hypermiled it to 500. miles.
Hypermiled it? What does that
Yeah,
mean?
I just like go on.
45 miles an hour or something?
Yeah, they're like 30 miles an hour or something.
30.
It's like on level ground with, you pump the tires up really well and go on a smooth surface, and you can go for a long time. But you can like definitely comfortably do 300 miles.
Is there
This is
any-
fine for most people. Usually 200 or 250 miles is fine. 300 miles is, you don't even think about it really.
Well, hey, that'll do it all for tonight. Thanks for watching. I look forward to sharing another video with you tomorrow night. If you liked it, give a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel below and share it with your friends. I want to hear your comments below. Tell us what's going on with your Tesla stock, what it is that you're doing. What do you think Elon Musk has up his sleeve for Battery Day, for this reveal? Do you care about sustainable energy? I want to hear it all down below.